culture hero, coming to save us all. You never judged us, taught us to stand up tall. Pop culture hero, taught us to be as one. After the prequels, the healing has begun. Walking the thin line between heaven, earth, and hell. Pop culture hero, saving us from ourselves.
Hey gamers, Maniac here with Disc Reader 117. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Right now we're about 1 month away from E3, not even, maybe two weeks. I think, yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're heading to the end of the month.
Middle of June. Right?
Yeah. So, and we all know what's going to be unveiled there. Nintendo's next big console, the successor to the Wii, the Project Cafe.
The only video game consoles so far to be released that we know of at E3.
Yeah, and at this generation, I mean, with the handhelds being the exception, of course, but that is a full-fledged, you know, Nintendo's next console. So that kind of means with the price drop that just happened this week, it's official. Wii, if you don't have a Wii, it's $150 right now. It's bundled with Mario Kart. And a lot of the famous games that are coming out, particularly Super Mario Sluggers, Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
No, not Super Smash Brothers. Nintendo Twilight Princess and Wii Sports are all $20 now.
Yeah.
So right now, if you want to get it on a Wii, get it on a Wii right now, because let me tell you, it's a great console. But the console's over now.
Yeah.
Or at least the generation's wrapping up, and I want to talk about, and you wanted to show off, like, what are your favorite games of the Wii? Because I love the console. I really do. Yeah. I've had it for about 2 years. I really like the console, and actually no, I had it 3 years almost.
I got it the Christmas that it came out, of the year that it came out.
Yeah, you've had it 2 years longer than I did.
Yeah.
I got it, and I didn't get it until around the time Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, which was around April 2008.
Yeah. And the system came out in early 2007.
Yeah, and the funny part being that you couldn't get a console.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 2006.
Yeah.
2006, you couldn't get one.
I wanted to see though how many people will go for a new Wii system, because I remember when my mom went Christmas shopping, she'd always say, yeah, they hand out tickets, and whoever gets a ticket is available to buy the Wii if they want to. And every time she'd be like one person short or something from being able to buy the Wii. So
it could be quite possible.
That's how big it was.
Yeah, it could be quite possible Project Cafe is going to be just as big. I mean, the 3DS was not as big as they were expecting, but yeah. So what I want to talk about is, now that since the Wii is going out, I want to give it my little swan song, and I know you do too. What are the best games on the Wii? This is both a how-to video on like what you should be looking for, based upon my taste, and your tastes are different than mine, so I wanted to do
a few mixed together, don't you?
Yeah, a few mixed together. So whenever I pick one that's your pick, and vice versa, we'll just hit spot on that. So I want to start off with at least my top 5. And these are properties, not so much. So if you see these video games in the store shelves, by all means pick them up. Starting, of course, with my number 5, Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. Really, enough said. This is the #1 selling game of all time with 77 million units. Okay, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. It's not bundled with the system anymore, but you can buy it for $20.
Yeah.
It's not bundled. They do have another one on my list that actually is bundled now. Wii Sports Resort, fantastic game, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If I may say, my favorite thing. It's basically Wii Sports, but with a lot more games, a lot more options.
Yeah.
But the cool thing I liked about it was that the very opening, the skydiving sequence.
Yeah.
I had and I had all my friends' Mii's programmed into my console, so when I started playing,
just a great opening.
Yeah, when I'm jumping down to the plane, I say, "Hey, there's my friend Jen, and there's my friend John." And there's my father. Like, what was it doing? It was actually taking the Mii's that were on. I got a kick out of it. And there was you.
Yeah.
You were there too. So that was, I really got the kick out of that in Wii Sports Resort. So it's a great demo. It really shows off the great capabilities of the Wii. It worked pretty well. Wii Sports Resort was a great expansion.
Well, while we're on the Wii Sports and stuff like that, one of my favorite ones was Wii Play, which was released maybe a month after Wii Sports, maybe a few months after Wii actually came out, and it was basically more games that you can play instead of just Wii Sports. It had pool, it had ping pong and stuff like that original Wii Sports didn't have. That was basically kind of an expansion to it, which I loved myself.
And those did get bundled with controllers before.
Yeah.
So that was a nice kicker to it. Next up on my list, if I can, Mario Kart. Wii with the racing wheel. Worse with the racing wheel bundled with it. I thought it worked pretty well, but for the higher things, I had to plug in a Wavebird. It was pretty tough coming in later on. But then again, this was a really fun game. I was a big fan of Mario Kart 64. I used to play it a lot in my dentist office. Yeah, seriously. So I have a lot of fun memories about that. Has great gameplay, great multi-person tracks.
Great maps.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a really
introducing with the motorcycles and stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun game. It really was. Okay, so what's your next pick?
This was the only Mario Party actually to come out for the Wii. Mario Party 8.
God, there were at least 2 that came out with the GameCube.
Yeah, they had a couple for the GameCube. Mario Party 8 was just so much fun because you had all the Mario Party is basically the same, just with different mini games, different game board. But this one made it great because now you moved with all the different challenges and stuff. It made it more interactive and a lot more fun to play.
Yeah, so a lot of games. How many games were in there?
I'm not exactly sure, but there was maybe 6, I think, different game boards, and then over 200 games that you can play. The mini games.
That's a lot of playing.
Yeah, that's a lot of playing.
How many players you play with?
Up to 4 people, and you could play it online. So
that's pretty cool.
With I think about 10 characters you can unlock. It was really good.
Okay, here's my next one, and I don't think this is going to be up to anybody's.
Well, this is definitely my favorite Wii game.
Yeah. This right here was a great value, I thought. It's not in stores anymore, but you'll probably be able to find it on Amazon. The Metroid Prime Trilogy. This is pretty much the whole game series bundle, so it's 3 games for the price of 1. It's a cool collector's box with the controls of Metroid Prime 3. If you haven't found this game, it's a really good buy because Metroid Prime was like the best game series, or considered to be one of the best game series on the GameCube. And the controls are there. That you'll have tons and tons of fun with that, and it's fun to replay because a lot of the original GameCube features from the earlier games have been ported over, but you can't do them anymore because you can't do them on the Wii. So you can actually there are alternative ways to unlock stuff and unlocks and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun game, and if you haven't played it's basically the same price when it came out as Metroid Prime 3 did, so it was a really good deal. I love the Metroid series, even though I've never been able to. Actually, no, I did beat other round, but I love the Metroid series, and I thought it was great. It's one of Nintendo's staples, so I had to put that on the list.
My next one was Zelda Twilight Princess. There wasn't very many Zelda games released for the Wii, but this one was really fun.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I knew that if this game was not on this list, I was going to be just totally flamed, and rightfully so. This is considered to be like one of the best Zelda games of all time.
It was great.
And the thing about this is that pretty much everybody's got a copy of this game. This was a day 1 purchase for a lot of people because this was like a launch title.
Yeah.
And it's a cool game. The graphics are probably the best. The art style was fantastic. The controls, everybody loves swinging the sword on this one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun game, and it's a long game too. You're going to have a lot of gameplay with this one. I haven't been able to beat it.
Fun playing as the same character but on 2 different forms, in human and in wolf form.
Right, and that really does mix up the gameplay.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Right. Okay, now it's time for my next pick, and this is...
this is my favorite Wii game of all time.
Okay, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Do I have to say anything? Do I really have to say anything?
I don't know, it explains itself.
Let me give you a quick story, if I may. This was a couple years ago. I was Christmas shopping for myself and for some friends at the time, my family and everything. And I was at a Best Buy, and this was around Christmas time, a little redundant. And I saw this older couple that was buying a Wii. And the clerk was like giving them all this stuff about, oh, you're going to need this and oh, you're going to need that. And they had a pretty good stack of shovelware and stuff like that. Not very good games. And they were like, what do we get our son? We don't know what to get our son. So I didn't mind my own business, and I turned around and talked to the 2 people who obviously had no idea what they were buying. And I said, okay, how old is your son? And they said, oh, 22. And I said, great. He's like, do you think he's going to like the Wii? I said, yeah, I do think he's going to like it. He's like, well, what game should we buy? I said, go right now and buy Super Smash Brothers Brawl. In fact, I'm not going to let you leave the store until you buy Super Smash Brothers Brawl. He's like, well, what is it? It's basically a game where you're playing all these Nintendo characters, and you have to basically, it's fun, it's cartoonish, and it's exciting. And it's pretty much any 22-year-old is going to want that game if they have a Wii. If he doesn't immediately get it, when he gets the console, he's going to go out and buy it immediately anyway. So they said, oh, great, perfect. And they bought it. I'm sure that was a very happy Christmas for their son. I'm sure it was. So, Meanwhile, I don't think I ever got a return back on any Best Buy applications I filled out. So Best Buy, why didn't you bother to hire me when I was asking for a job? Well, it's your loss. I mean, I actually knew what you were shoveling. But there you go.
Yeah, for me with Brawl, I remember playing Melee with my cousin when I was younger on his GameCube. And when Brawl came out, I knew it didn't have enough money to pre-order. So a week after that, I went to Target. Still like 50 copies in their case, and I just bought one.
Lucky you.
I'm not big in like.
I don't have a copy of Brawl actually. I mean, I don't have a copy of Melee actually. You can't find it anymore.
I'm not big into like fighting games like that, like Mortal Kombat and stuff. But Brawl, I just love it. Favorite Wii game.
Okay, and now we're up to my. Oh wait, what's yours? You gotta give your next pick.
My next one was SimCity Creator.
Okay, why that one?
So it was just fun being able to build your own city and stuff on the Wii and interact differently, like different from other sim games that you play on the computer. I just like playing it.
Okay, so you're a big sim fan?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. All right. Next up is, I guess, my final pick. And this is another series. This is a Wii exclusive series, but it is being ported, so it's not going to be exclusive for very long. But I loved these games. No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2. I don't know which one I like better. This one's got the open world environment, which is a lot of fun. This one doesn't, but the combat and a lot of the stuff, even though there was a pretty nasty bug in this game, which involved buying stuff in the store. I love the bosses in this game, the boss fights, the story was really good. Got a little zany towards the end, and this one kind of stayed mostly less zany, but I really like these games. They were fantastic, they were a lot of fun, the controls were fantastic. The vulgarity of it, the characters, I loved it all. And I remember, right after I picked up a Wii, I had a friend who also had a Wii, had a Wii for about a year before I did. He was just a lucky bastard. And what happened was that he told me, you have to buy the original No More Heroes. And it had come out for like a couple months, but it was already in the bargain bin. And he said, you have to buy that because I have a copy of it, I know you're going to love it. And I was kind of like, okay, I'll pick it up, because I was picking up a whole stack of other games at the time. And I actually beat the game, and I'm like, and he never got past the first boss. Like, after he beat the first boss, he just shelved the game and never played it again. And I said, why didn't you finish the game? The game is fantastic. And he's like, he just didn't. And I guess it was his loss, because the series was just so great. I picked up No More Heroes 2 day one, full price, plowed through the whole thing. I loved it. It was so much fun. But that's his loss. If I had a top pick, it would be No More Heroes, because I love the adult humor, I love the vulgarity, I love the characters, and I love the gameplay. It is coming to the PlayStation Move, but only the first game right now is coming to the PlayStation Move. I don't know what's going to happen with the second game, although they might bring in some of the second game's characters and some of the second game's bosses. We don't know yet for the PlayStation version.
My final game was the original My Sims. I liked it because, like I said, unlike a normal sim game, this time you're playing as an actual person. You have a lot more options to do. Run around, fish, interact with the characters, build you up your own places and stuff. It was fun, but definitely my favorite one out of all the ones I showed you was Zelda Twilight Princess. Definitely.
Why didn't you show that one last?
I didn't know you had to put in order of your favorites.
Alright, just take that into account, folks. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. If you remember, I am going to E3. If I get any Project Cafe news, I'm going to be posting it up on the site as soon as I get it, as soon as I'm getting it. I've not been invited to the Nintendo show yet, though. I haven't heard from them yet. If I do get invited, I, of course, am going to RSVP in the positive. But I have not been invited to the Nintendo show, so I don't know yet. But you can be sure I'm going to be keeping you guys abreast with all the Project Cafe news you need. If you guys don't have Wii's yet, Nintendo Wii is now $150. If you don't have any of these games and you have a Wii, I recommend picking some of them up. You probably pick to what your taste is. Until then, this is Maniac with Game Access.
This is 117.
Yeah, over and out.